All right, guys. So the title of this call is going to be the follow-up formula. We all know that we always say the fortune is in the follow-up. To be honest with you, that's half true. The reality is the fortune is in the immediate follow-up. There's a saying out there and it goes like this. You want to strike while the iron is hot, meaning if you expose someone to the information, as time goes by, people lose excitement. I use the analogy of people losing 25% excitement as every day goes by. So you show someone the plan and you don't follow up with them within 24 hours, and then 25% excitement is gone. And then the next day, another 25%, and then another 25%. And then ultimately 4 days later, you lost them. So yes, the fortune is in the follow-up, but the reality is the fortune is in the immediate follow-up, following up with people as soon as possible. And so one thing that I want to share with you guys is some of the numbers. You guys can take a screenshot of this. This is sales, but it's the exact same numbers within network marketing as well. I'm not going to break down every single one of these statistics to you. I'm going to go over the most important ones. I think the most important numbers that are on this picture is the very first one, where it says that 48% of network marketers never follow up with the prospect. That means half of the people that are on this call right now never follow up, not once, with the people that they're sharing the business with. Now I want you to look straight to the bottom. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. What does that mean? What that means is if you're not following up 2, 3, 4, 5 times, then you're actually missing out on 80% of people who would have joined your business had you had been a professional, had you had followed up with them. So this is really important because some people are so focused on exposing people, showing the plan. And yes, that's extremely important. But if you do not follow up with people 2, 3, 4, 5 times, then you're literally wasting your time. Now, let me explain to you guys my personal situation. I took a screenshot of this. Kiani reached out to me to join I Am Academy back in 2017, May of 2017, which is literally 5 years ago. 5 years ago, he hit me up. We talked and I said, no. I said, absolutely not. You know what's funny? What's interesting is I find that ambitious people, the real successful people that you want to attract into your organization, they're already doing other things. They're already pursuing their passion. They're already doing other types of businesses. They're already creating multiple sources of income online. So what does that mean? What that means is oftentimes when you approach them, they're going to say no right away because they have so many other amazing things going on in their life. But that doesn't mean that it's not for them. When I said no to Kiani in May in 2017, all that meant was it wasn't the right time. But we all know that the timing always changes. And different things happen within my life where 8 months from then, in the beginning of 2018, I made that decision to say yes. And here's the thing though. I can show you guys the messages. Kiani followed up with me month after month after month after month after month for 8 months before I took that decision and said yes. Be honest. How many of you guys would have followed up with somebody for 8 months straight after they told you no? Every single month. Not very many people. But what that means is you probably have already exposed people to your business that would have hit Chairman 10 in your business, but you have not followed up with them. So I'm telling you how important following up really is. I wouldn't be here if Kiani didn't follow up with me. And it wasn't even always about business. Sometimes it was just him reaching out to me. Hey, how's the family? Hey, how's it going? All business is conversation. What does that mean? What that means is when you stay connected with people and you keep those good relationships, when the time becomes right, they'll hit you up. But if you're not staying connected with people that you're reaching out to, they'll join somebody else. Trust me, I'm telling you, the follow-up is very, 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 very important. Now, there is a secret to following up. And I came up with this myself. I call it the follow-up formula. If you want to know how to follow up the right way to close anybody who's closable, drop the 777 in the chat and I'll give it to you. But we got to light this chat box up. If you want to know the follow-up formula to close anybody who's keyword closable, we need some sevens in the chat. Okay, here we go. So the follow-up formula is this. Multiple different exposures times speed equals sign up. Obviously, you're following up with people in order to get them started into the business, right? How do you do that? Answer: multiple different exposures times speed equals sign up. Let's break down each one of these words because I'm very particular with my language and I'm very particular with the words that I use. Multiple. You want to expose people as many different times as you possibly can. Different. The word different is important because sometimes people like big events because of the social proof. Sometimes people like one-on-ones because it's a lot more personal. Some people like online because it's a lot more convenient. Some people like in person because they can feel the energy. So different exposures is key, right? So multiple different exposures. Exposures is different ways of them seeing the information. That could be an opportunity call. That could be an event. That could be a three-way call. That could be connected with your leader. That could be a lot of different things. There's many different ways to expose your prospect to the opportunity. Time speed. Now, this is important as well because if I just reach out to somebody and I'm doing multiple different exposures, but I don't follow up with them quickly, then none of it matters. So you have to do it as quickly as you possibly can. So if you're able to show your prospect I Am Mastery Academy as many different ways as you possibly can within a short period of time, that is going to close anybody who's closable. Drop the 777 in the chat if that makes sense. I want to make sure y'all are with me. Don't sleep on this. I'm telling you, this works. Multiple different exposures times speed equals sign up. We're going to get more into it here in a little bit and break down a little bit more. So let me give you guys some different follow-up keys. These are different things that will help you when it comes to following up. So Eric Worre in the book GoPro has a key saying, and the key saying goes like this: the only reason to have an exposure is to have another exposure. That's in the book GoPro. If you didn't know that, you need to know that. He said the only reason to have an exposure is to have another exposure. Now, that might not make sense if this is the first time hearing it, but what he simply meant was this: if 80% of people aren't going to sign up on the spot, who cares? Yes, let's sign up those 20%. If they're ready to go, they're ready to go. But if we're showing them the plan and we know that 8 out of 10 aren't going to say yes right away, then we want to set up another exposure. So we show them the first exposure, to show them the second, to show them the third, the fourth, until they eventually what? Get started. So that's a key. Another key is you need to track your leads. You have to have a system. I don't care if it's on paper. I don't care if it's online. I don't care if it's Google Documents. However you do it, you have to track your leads. I would suggest tracking their name. I would suggest tracking their location, like where it is that they live, where they're from. I would suggest tracking how you met them. I would suggest tracking any important key notes about the person that might be relevant to helping them get started. And last but not least, what step that they are on. Have they seen the business yet? Have you invited them yet? Have you got them on a three-way yet? Have they been to an event yet? What step are they on? You have to track your leads. If you are not tracking the people that you're talking to, when you're talking to dozens of people, hundreds of people, it's impossible to follow up correctly. So this is major key. Now, the next one is big. Bam, fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. Let me ask you guys a question. Answer yes or no. How many of you ever felt that you were chasing a prospect? Like maybe you exposed them and you didn't follow up with them right away, and then you had to hit them up and say later on, say, hey, how'd you like it? Da, 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 da. And then you're trying to set up another meeting later on when you could have just done it while you were there with them. How many of you ever felt like you were chasing a prospect? Yes or yes, to be honest with you, because the answer is yes. 100%. Absolutely. And the reason why is because you're not BAM famming. So the word BAM fam stands for book a meeting from a meeting. So if I invite Bob to an event and he goes to the event and he's excited, but he doesn't want to get started right away, I'm not going to let Bob go home until I book a meeting right there with him. Because then if I let him go, then I got to reach out to him again and I'm chasing, and what you chase runs away from you, right? So instead, while I'm there with him, I'm going to book that next exposure right then and right there. Book a meeting from a meeting. And you just do this BAM fam to BAM fam to BAM fam until eventually they get started. What's another thing that you could do? Fear of loss. Understand human psychology, right? Understand that people are more excited to lose something. People are more scared to lose something than they are excited to gain something. So you could talk about dream cars, dream vacations, time freedom, financial freedom, and all that stuff's nice. But when you talk about fear of loss, what will happen if you don't do it? That actually motivates the majority of people. People are more scared to lose something than they are excited to gain something. Leverage and fear of loss go hand in hand. What does leverage mean? What leverage means is if you have signed up a few people, they go into what? A holding tank, right? And in this holding tank, you have what? 10 days to place these individuals in your organization. So if I have one or two or a few people that I've gotten started recently, I could go through my entire follow-up list and say, hey, yo, listen, I know you're super excited about my business, but you were kind of on the fence waiting to start. I have one, I have two, I have a few people. If you get started right now, I could place them on your team, and these guys are about to blow it up. And if you get started now, that will count towards you and help you make money. And if you don't, you're actually going to go under them on their team. What do you want to do? Leverage. That works. You could turn one person that got started into your business into a dozen just from leveraging. Fear of loss and leverage go hand in hand. Third party / three-way calls. Obviously, it's difficult to close on your own. It's a lot easier to edify the person that you're working with, which gives them what? Massive influence. And you let the experts close them for you. Now, it's a game of relatability. If they're a younger person, connect them with the younger person. If they're an older person, get them connected with the older person. If they're an Asian person, connect them to me. That sounds funny, but I'm being dead serious. It's a game of relatability. All right. Next, repeat that leverage system, please. I don't even know what I said. I think I said it's a lot easier to edify the person that you're working with, talk highly about who you're working with, which gives them massive. Here's the thing, between you and your friends, your guests, the people that you're talking to, there's trust. They like you, they trust you, but they see you on the same level as them. Why? Answer is because the relationship is in the way. There's a principle out there. It's called the law of familiarity. And basically it states people tend to take for granted what they have easy access to. So when you're in such close proximity to somebody, it's hard to give them financial advice, especially if they know you for who it is that you were. They don't see you for who it is that you're becoming. So you have to leverage other people, right? Oh, the leverage system you're talking about. I get what you're asking. You're asking about placing people. I'll send you the recording, bro. I got you, because I don't want to go over that again. But adding value, we'll move on. Adding value. So with adding value, here's the thing. We're taught. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys have ever heard you have to be a go-getter? Drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard somebody say, yo, you have to be a go-getter, right? Right? We were taught to be go-getters, but the reality is you want to be a go-giver, because what you give, you'll receive back. So we're so focused on getting. Successful people, they're focused on giving. So what some people do when they're following up, they're just hitting people up and they're like, yo, are you ready to start yet? Yo, are you ready to start yet? Yo, are you ready to start yet? And the problem is you're all, by the second, third time you do that, you're asking them for something. And what tends to happen is they'll just ignore you. They'll be like, yo, I know why this guy is calling. Let me just not answer the phone, because you're always focused on getting and you're not focused on giving. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and place to be like, yo, let's get you started now. However, one thing that you can do while you're waiting for someone, let's say someone says, hey, let me think about it, or hey, I want to get started a week from now or 2 weeks from now, when I have the time or when I have the money or whatever the case is. In the meantime, you want to add as much value as you possibly can. So how do you do that? One way that I do it is I leverage the DCX free trial videos. I'm like, hey, listen, bro, while you're waiting to get started in a week, or hey, bro, I know that you're thinking about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you, I'll explain what the free trial is. So I'll say, hey, listen, a handful of months ago, we had the top 5 crypto educators out of our entire company of 300,000 people that literally obviously charge a crazy amount of money for their live sessions, but we opened it up to everybody so they could check it out for free. We recorded a few of the sessions. I'm going to share them with you so you can actually get a head start, so that by the time you get started in a week, you'll already have a head start. Or if they said, hey, I want to think about it. So by the time you check out some of these live sessions and you can see people trading together and making money together, you're going to know for sure that this is something that you want to do. How does that sound? Sound good? Sounds good. I'm always thinking not what can I get? I'm always thinking, hey, what can I give? How can I add value to other people? You have to observe the masses and do the opposite. The masses in networking, in sales, they're always trying to just get. And that's why they never get anything at all. They're so focused on themselves, they can't put themselves in the other person's shoes and their point of view and ask what it is that they want, right? Add value. The only reason why people haven't joined your business is because they don't see the value. But understand, the moment that the value outweighs the cost, guess what they're going to do? They're going to enroll. Now, next, set deadlines. Set deadlines. Without a deadline, procrastination tends to happen. If someone's not ready to start right then and right there, what do? I say, hey, listen, oh, you don't have the money right now? Perfect. When do you get paid next? This Friday? Perfect. Can we get you started on Friday? How does that sound? If you do not set a deadline, then what's going to happen is they're going to just say next week, next month, next year, and it just never happens. Jim Rohn talks about the law of diminishing intent. And what it states is the longer that you wait to do something that you should do today, the higher the probability that you're not going to do it at all. Later typically turns into never. So you have to set deadlines in order for people to get started. One thing that I forgot to put on here, and I'm going to say it while it's on my mind, is constant communication is key. Constant communication is key. What I see some people do when they'll expose someone to the business, and then they'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to start in a week from now. And they never hit them up. And then they hit them up on the day that they said that they were going to get started. And they're like, are you ready? And by that point in time, they had already forgot, because they had a life. They have bills, they have family, they have kids, they have school, they have a million different things going on. And you weren't in constant communication with them. Constant communication is key when following up with the people that you're talking to. And then last but not least is double it. This is a key as well. People always ask me, hey, how soon should I follow up with so-and-so? Answer is you just want to double it every single time. So let's say I follow up with somebody today. Then the next time I follow up with them, maybe I'll give it 2 days or a few days. And then the next, if they still don't get started, the next time I'm going to follow up with them is in about a week. And then I just keep doubling it and doubling it and doubling it, because you don't want to be annoying. You don't want to be hitting them up every single day, but at the same time, you don't want to forget about these individuals as well. So when you're doubling it, that's a great way to do it. So the next time might be 2 weeks, and then a month, and then a few months, right? And that is how often you should follow up with people. That's my system that I use when I'm asking myself, okay, how often should I follow up with this person? Because you don't want to forget about this person, but at the same time, you don't want to be too pushy at the exact same time. So that is that. And with that being said, I believe that is it. I'm going to move on and we're going to do a Q&A. Now, I'm going to tell you guys some advanced following up really quick that I just thought about right now. Now, if I have some people who are on the fence, there are one or two things that I might do. Now, what I'll do, especially if I have a super high quality person that I'm talking to, what I'll do is a lot of people just want to see the platform. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll say, hey, I know that you're on the fence because they told me that. I know that you're thinking about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop on our go live sessions, our live trading sessions. They're usually for members only. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you hop on a live session with me 1 time, 2 times, max a few times, so that you can hop on, because when you see people trading together, making money together, I'm almost certain you're going to be super excited about getting started. How does that sound? So that's one thing that I'll do. Now, another thing that I'll do, now this is a little bit advanced, but it works. What you can do is you can teach people how to copy and paste trades. Dude, it's 3 numbers: entry, exit, stop loss. And you could help them copy and paste a few trade ideas, right? And then, boom, when they get results on their MT4, and they're not even in the academy yet, on a demo account, right? I'll only give them 1 trades, 2, max 3. That's the absolute max. After that, they're just obviously just wasting your time, right? Taking advantage, right? But if you do that and they see blue on their demo account, that is going to take their belief from here to here, guys. So those are a few things, but yeah, we could open up really quick. This was a quick call. So anything regarding follow-up, go ahead and we can unmute people. Let me unmute everybody really quick. Let's see. Can participants share their... Oh yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Go ahead and either A, drop it in the chat, or B, feel free to unmute yourself. Either way works.
I have a question. Okay.
Wow.
So when would you say is the last time like you're gonna like keep following up with somebody? Like when would you like cut it off?
The last time? I mean, the answer is it kind of depends. I mean, for me, I don't really stop following up with somebody unless they're very, very, very like negative. If they're extremely negative about the idea, obviously I don't want to bother them, so I'm going to stop following up with them. But unless that's the case, then I'm going to just keep following up with them. And like I said, following up doesn't even necessarily mean I'm talking to them about trading or the business. It could just be, like I said, all business is conversation. What does that mean? What that means is just reaching out to them, catching up with them, seeing how they're doing, showing that you actually care. People don't care how much you know until they what? Know how much you care. So, I mean, you just keep following up until they either sign up or until they're just like, yo, you're blocked. That's what I would do. Kayla, is that good?
Yes, thank you.
Got you. Anybody else? If I show Bob, I love Bob. I always use Bob. So if I show Bob a Zoom presentation and he says no, are you going to do another Zoom or where do you go from that? Because when you say multiple times of seeing the info, I get confused. Okay, so if somebody says no, like really, like it depends on like what the no is, right? So if their no is like absolutely not, this is a scam, like a crazy no, then I'm just gonna leave them alone, right? I mean, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to, you know, make someone do something that I obviously don't want to do. However, if they're just like, hey, you know what? I like the idea, but I got this going on and this going on and this going on. So, you know, I can't, you know, just not right now. Definitely not right now. Maybe in a few months or whatever they say. It really just depends. So if it's like a hard no, then obviously I'll just move on. But if they are still seemingly interested, then I'll still keep them in the loop. So I'll say, hey, I know you said you want to get started in the summer. Some people will say that. You ever get that? They'll be like, yeah, I want to start in the summer. Oh, you know what? I want to start at the beginning of next year. They're talking about like a year from now. And you're just like, bro, like, what are you thinking? Those types of people, you still like want to continue staying and stay in conversation with them. And yeah, so if they're like, that's what I would do. So if you show them a Zoom, if I show somebody a Zoom and they're like really excited about it, my next ideal thing that I want to do is get them to an event, because online is great. It's very convenient, but there's a lot of energy that happens. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of social proof that happens at events. That's my favorite ways to expose somebody. So if I get someone on a three-way call or on a Zoom call or whatever the case is, if they don't get started right then and there and they come to an event, they're getting started 8 out of 10 times. And vice versa. If you have someone that comes to a big event and they still want to meet up with you the next day and they just have some questions, they're going to get started probably 80% of the time. Otherwise, they would have just told you no after that first event. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I have a question. What about people who watched the intro, the presentation, was interested for a while, but then like just went ghost. So I messaged them a few times and no response. So I just left it alone. But like, do you follow up with people like that, or how do you go about that?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. I'll give you guys an example. The answer is this. The honest answer is it depends on how high quality the person is. If they are not seemingly a really high quality person when it comes to business, no, absolutely not. Now, if they are a very high quality person, they have a lot of influence, they have a lot of credibility, they have a lot of contacts or someone, whatever that looks like for you, then the answer is definitely. Let me see if I can pull up a conversation that I had recently. Okay, so let me show you guys this. So, does anybody know when the I Believe Nation event was? Anybody? The last I Believe Nation event. What month was that? Somebody help me remember. Drop it in the chat box if you know. I know there was a few people that were there. February. So March, April. We're in May. So we're talking about March, April. May. It was the beginning, right? So it was like 4 months. Yeah. So about 4 months ago, I was at Starbucks and I met this guy, and we just had a conversation. He asked me what I was there for, and I told him about the event that we were at and what we were doing there. And he asked me what I do. I told him a little bit. I told him that, you know, I'm involved with the crypto education platform, whatever. And he was like, you know what? Hey, I'm interested in that. Let me get some details. And so I added him on Facebook, right? And when I added him on Facebook, I said to him, hey, so-and-so, great meeting you the other day. Okay, February 8th, I have the message. Hey, so-and-so, great meeting you at Starbucks. He said, you too, bro. I'm super interested in day trading. I said, we could hop on a call this week. He didn't respond. I hit him up a week later. I said, hey, how's it going? What's your schedule like this week? He said, open. What's going on? I said, awesome. Let's connect on a call so I can show you more about day trading. That's what he said he was interested in. What's your schedule like tomorrow? He said, I'm fucking down. Let me get into the office and I'll text you. I said, okay, sounds great. Didn't respond. And I said, a few days later, I said, what's your schedule like this weekend? Didn't respond. 10 days later, I hit him up. Hey, how's it going? He said, good, buddy, at home. He's older. He's like 40. He said, good, buddy, at home today with my little one sick from school. I gotcha. Have some free time to connect on a quick call later. Yes, I should. Okay, cool. What's your number? I hadn't had his number. I was only talking to him on Messenger. What's your number? And around what time should I call you? Then he sent me his number. He said 4 Central time. I should be free. I said, perfect. I'll call you at 4 Central. This is February 28th at this point. He said, hey, brother, I'm going to have to call you later. Something came up at work. Text me your number. And then I sent him my number. And then we moved to text. So now we're texting. I'm moving to my text messages now. Okay. So I think we hopped on a call because I ended up sending him like an opportunity video, and I sent him the video, and yeah, I said, or no, we had set up a call. That's what we did. We set up a call, but I said, hey, watch this first. It'll make a lot more sense visually So check this out. And I said, are you still going to be free? And he said, I think so. Trying to get dinner and homework done. I'll let you know when I finish. Not sure if I told you I'm a 6-year-old. I have a 6-year-old. I said, no worries. Take your time. Call me after. Didn't respond. I said, hey, how's it going? March 5th. No response. March 17th. Hey, boss, you told me to shoot you a text around this time to see when you were free today. Didn't respond. And then I sent him a flyer of an opportunity call that me and Kiani did. And then I sent him a voice message. I don't even know what I said. Let's listen to it.
Hey, boss, tonight at 9 p.m. your time, we're having a big call on crypto, on investing, on our education platform. So if you're free tonight, man, it's going to be tonight at 9. I'm going to be running it with the individual who actually got me started.
No response. Now we're in April 2nd. How's it going? And then he sent me his email because he told me to, I don't know, email him something. Oh no, this was recent. So now we're April. So in between this, I'm calling him every once in a while. So like, that's why there's like gaps in the messages where it's like kind of confusing. Every once in a while, I'm also calling him because he told me he's interested. So until he tells me, no, absolutely not, I'm just going to keep following up with him. And so, yeah, I called him on Sunday, this last Sunday. And I said, hey, he said, yo, who's this? He didn't even have my number saved. I was like, yo, it's Cruiser from da-da-da-da. And then he's like, oh yeah, man. Da-da-da-da. And then he was like, you know what? I told him about another call that we were doing. And he said, okay, email me the details. So I emailed him the details on this last Sunday for the opportunity call that I did this last Sunday. I texted him. I said, are you on? He said, no. He said, sorry, bud, I missed the call. Can you send me a video? I sent him the recording. And then he watched the recording finally. And he said, good stuff. I'm interested. I said, do you have any questions? He said, lots. I said, awesome. Let's schedule a call soon. When are you free? He said, after 5. I said, okay, cool. How's 5:30? I'll call you then. He said, sounds good. I said, and then I hopped on a call with him. And basically he had a ton of questions. And from there, I realized that he's already making $100,000 a month trading commodities. He's already making 10 times more money than me. So what do? Rather than trying to close him myself, I leverage John. So at this point in time, I'm leveraging John. I'm edifying John. I'm making John sound like a god, right? I'm talking so highly about him. Like, you 25-year-old, been able to do this, been able to do that, blah, blah, blah. Edify John like crazy. And from there, I scheduled a call with him and John. He finally saw the vision and he's getting started. So yeah.
So did you edify him when you were like on the phone with, you edified John while you was on the phone with your?
Yeah, I edified John while I was on the phone. But yeah, guys, this just goes to show too, that it doesn't matter if people are making more money than you. And he even said this, he was like, yo, like, I really like your energy. And I also am a huge believer that nothing is a coincidence and that everything happens for a reason. And I've honestly been looking to pivot. This dude's older, he's 40. This guy has his own business. He's also absolutely crushing it in what it is that he do. But what did I have? I had high energy. I had high excitement. I had a certain level of confidence. People don't care if they're making more money than you. If you have a good opportunity that can make them more money, right? Especially when I got him connected to John, who's this literally my age, almost half this guy's age, but making about the same amount of money as him. So, but yeah, honestly, bro, I just went on the biggest, I should say. I just went on the biggest rant, but I honestly don't even remember what the question was. So what was your question again? Or did I answer?
You answered it. You answered it perfect, bro. I just wanted to know, like, if somebody didn't respond, like after, the presentation or something, like, no, but you answered it for sure. Appreciate that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's why, because like I couldn't really answer the question without the story. So
no, most definitely. Thank you.
Got you. All right, fam. Anything else? Any other questions about following up?
I have a quick question.
What up?
Can you lower the volume? Okay, so how do you follow up with people you haven't talked to in like a year or longer? You're in constant engagement with them on Instagram and everything, but like you haven't talked in a while.
If I haven't talked to somebody in a while, I definitely don't bring up the business or trading or anything right away. I spend a lot of time just catching up with them and, really just form, just from occupation, recreation, motivation, just using those, FORM, like those topics of conversation to just like reconnect with them as much as I possibly can. I feel like people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So if I can rebuild up that trust and I can get them to, know me, like me, and trust me, that there's an amazing chance that they're going to want to do business with me. So yeah, just building a really, really good relationship. I think if you want to beat out 99% of people in network marketing, take genuine time to actually build real relationships. Most people just treat people like numbers, and that's why their business, is where it is. So yeah, that's kind of what I would do. And then maybe after, let's just say, a week or two of just like kind of really catching up with them, then maybe you can, at that point in time, if the time is right, then share the opportunity with them. And if you had already exposed them in the past, maybe you could talk to them about something new. So I know a lot of people that I talked to about crypto a few years ago that weren't excited, but I talked to them about NFTs today and they're really excited. So that's another thing too, is always using whatever's new and exciting in the moment is really important as well. Is that good?
Yeah, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
Got you. All right. What time is it? We could do maybe one or two more. Anything else, fam?
Yo, Cruiser, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. I had a question in the chat. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
I did not.
oh, no worries. For one, thank you for this call. It's great. It was fire. That follow-up was next level. So definitely taking some notes. My question was, how do you follow up with someone whose reason is lack of money for not starting?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if I show someone the plan and they say, hey, I don't have the money to start, the very first thing when it comes to objections is you have to clarify the objection, right? Most people, what they'll do is, Jordan Belfort talks about the smokescreen objection, where it's like the first thing that they tell you isn't the real objection. So if someone says, I don't have the money, maybe what that really means is that they're just uncertain, or maybe they just want to say no, but they're just trying to be nice. However, if you ask some good questions and like, money is the genuine issue. Because when you say, hey, you don't have the money right now, what is that? Like, hey, I don't have the money. Do you mean like you get paid tomorrow and you have the money tomorrow? Do you mean like you have the money, but you don't want to spend it? Does that mean you are, you actually don't have? So clarity is key. So the best closers in the world are the individuals that ask really, really, really good questions. So I would ask, what do you mean by that? And just have them be as specific as possible. That's one thing. But assuming that that's the real issue, like they genuinely do not have $185, which to be honest with you is kind of hard to believe. But if they really don't have $185, then what I do is I create FOMO. What I'll do is I'll create fear of loss, fear of missing out, right? So I'll say, hey, listen. So basically I start coming up with solutions, right? So I'll say, okay, well, if you don't have the money right now, it depends on their situation, right? Maybe they get paid this upcoming week. So it really depends on their specific situation. But let's say that they're like, oh, you know what? I think I could probably come up with $185 a month from now, something like that. In that case, what I'll do is I'll just create FOMO, fear of missing out, fear of loss. I'll say, hey, listen, the amount of stuff that you could learn and in a month is absolutely insane. So if you want to get started in a month, that's perfectly fine. But I'm telling you, if you can get started sooner rather than later, that would greatly be to your benefit, because the amount of stuff that you could learn in 30 days is ridiculous, number one. Number two, our goal is to have you hop on the live sessions and literally start copying trade ideas from our education platform, literally within your first few days, first week. So by the time the next few weeks goes by, you're missing out on learning a lot, and you're missing out on being able to copy some of these trade ideas and being able to maybe get some results, right? And I'm like, yo, is there any way? Then I'll ask this question. I'll say, yo, how can we get you started? Most of the time when I say that, first of all, in their head, they're thinking, okay, cool, I got to come up with the money sooner. And then from there, then I help them get creative. I'm like, yo, how can we help you get started sooner rather than later? And then I'll give some examples. I'll use myself as an example. I say, hey, when I signed up in my first business, I literally had to sell my computer to get started, which is a true story. I literally sold my computer to get started into the business, right? So some people sell things, some people use a credit card, some people borrow the money. It's $185, bro. Once we get you in the game, you're in the game, but we got to get you in the game. So how can we get you started sooner rather than later? And then you'll help them come up with some solutions. So that's ultimately what I would do.
Fire. Thank you. That helps a ton.
Got you. One more question. Anything else, guys? I have a whole video on my YouTube called Handling Objections. I talk about time, money, think about it, whatever. There's like the 5 key objections. And like, that's one of the things I talk about in depth. Oh, why don't I just learn this on YouTube? Whatever. I have all that on my YouTube. Let me drop that on here. But yeah,
Hey, Cruiser.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up, bro?
Just a quick question, bro. When you're edifying someone, right, your upline, what's some key things that you want to talk about when you're edifying them?
We need a whole training for that. We need a whole training. You want to talk about some of the success that they've had. You want to talk about some of the results they've got. You want to talk about the lives that they've impacted. You want to talk about the places that they've been, the cool stuff that they've done. You want to talk about who it is that they are, most importantly, like the qualities of the. So I'll say something along the lines of this. Let's say you're trying to get somebody on a 3-way call with me, as an example. I'm gonna use my story just because it's like easy to do. So I would be like, hey, listen, bro, I'm gonna get you connected with, you could say, hey, I'm going to get you connected with one of the top leaders within our entire education platform. This is somebody who's been able to make multiple 6 figures through investing and trading. This is somebody who has been financially free since his early 20s and has helped hundreds of people go out there and do the same thing. And he gave me the blueprint to show me how I did it. And on top of that, yes, he's had a lot of success, but most importantly is the amount of people that he's been able to impact and teach, and also who he is as a person. Although he's had a lot of success, he's super like humble, down to earth, whatever you want to say, something along those lines. And then I'll say this. Then I'll start to edify them a little bit. You want to make people feel good about themselves too. And I'll say, look, he told me if I knew anybody that was he's usually super busy, impossible to get a hold of. However, he does have some free time tomorrow at whatever time. And he told me if I knew anybody that's hardworking, money motivated, ambitious, whatever positive qualities that they have, that I could get them connected. So I'm going to put you in a group chat with him and we'll schedule a call. How's that sound? Sound good? Sounds good. Something like that.
All right, cool. Perfect. Thank you.
Got you, bro. We need a whole.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Whoever said that. All right, guys, we're good to go. If y'all have any questions for me about following up or about whatever in general, let me know. I'm going to record this, put this on my YouTube, so y'all can have that as well. With that being said, have an amazing rest of your guys' night, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.